Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, September 7th. On the impact map, we do have some breezy conditions with drier air starting to push into parts of central Nevada today, coming in off the Sierra front. We do have some outer periphery showers in parts of the Idaho mountains into western Wyoming, and lingering showers, brief in nature and isolated across the higher terrain of eastern Utah. We do see drier and breezier conditions becoming more widespread across Nevada. Um, Not very critical, but winds 20s approaching 30 miles an hour in some spots. It'll be a change from recent weather. Showers also become much more sparse in nature, and then lingering in the outer periphery on Tuesday as the drier, windier weather starts shifting from eastern Nevada into parts of southern and central Utah. Looking at precipitation on the left, again, a lot of this is radar estimated. It didn't rain everywhere, but a lot of areas had low end precipitation, some heavier downpours in the blue of a quarter inch or more. It did have some lightning along with that in various parts of the area the past 24 hours. Great Basin fire activity, new fire starts in the red, recent fires in the yellow, team fires in the purple, along with names of those incidents here. And then looking at the afternoon smoke transport forecast, still quite an issue with the smoke coming in off the Sierra, going into parts of central Nevada, and then combining with other multiple fires and the residual smoke up in the Idaho and western Wyoming. Smoke becomes a little more uh, thinner in nature tomorrow as tropical low pressure starts pushing into the Pacific Northwest. Precipitation the past 7 days, other than the past 24 hours, quite dry across Idaho and Wyoming. You see the percent of normal near 0% for the week, not including the last 24 hours. Where we did have some wetness in the past week, again, was in our southern areas. A lot of areas, the areas in the green, a half inch to locally an inch. And that went into the Arizona Strip and parts of southern Utah as well. The ERCs reflect that, still quite moist, not drying out as rapidly. We're into September, longer nights, shorter burn periods, so it takes a little bit longer during a dry weather regime to dry out the ERCs. But where they have dried out up in the north, you can see some of those close to 90th percentile in the Payette and 70th and 80th percentile across parts of eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, where we have some current ongoing large incidents. 100-hour fuels mostly in that lighter yellow of 11 to 15%. Only a few pockets here in the upper single digits across northwest Nevada, parts of northwest Utah. So again, those are the areas that typically would become ready to burn, provided that they stay dry. Now, the upper level map for today on the left, high pressure ridge pushing towards the eastern Great Basin in response to deepening low pressure off the Pacific Northwest coast. Areas in the black is where the humidity will be highest. We could see some brief isolated showers, not as widespread as yesterday. You can see some of that drier air and that tannish shade pushing in. Our 7-day map reflects current fire potential conditions on the right, marginal in parts of northern Nevada, northwest Utah, much of Idaho, and western Wyoming. Now, for the winds, you can see the surface winds in the orange and dark green. That's where the gusts will be in the 20s to near 30 miles an hour. Some of those winds further north, those are brief outflow boundaries from thunderstorms. Humidity there on the right will be quite a bit higher, somewhere between 30 and 39%. The drier humidities down in Nevada, mostly 10 to 15%. And then in the 20s as you head into Utah. High pressure ridge in place, the low pressure system opens up a bit and pushes into the Pacific Northwest. We have continued drier conditions, maybe warming up a little bit. Our area of yellow has expanded to reflect those conditions. We see some of those breezy winds, again, marginal in parts of eastern Nevada, western Utah. Seeing some stronger winds coming in off the Sierra front. So that's another issue we'll have to see there. Things can dry out quite rapidly in that downslope flow. We also see the humidities, which were 30 to 40% up in the Idaho mountains, dropping off into the low 20s. Same for western Wyoming. And then Tuesday, that low pressure area across the Pacific Northwest finally starts pushing eastwards. We see some more moisture pushing into Idaho, also approaching northwest Nevada at that time. Higher humidity and scattered showers will quickly push a lot of the PSAs back down into the green, except for far eastern areas of Idaho and Wyoming temporarily, and some areas in Utah as well. We see those winds, and they'll be increasing as that low pressure starts pushing further eastwards. We could see gusts possibly 35 to 40 miles an hour across parts of western Utah. Humidity about 15 to 20% in those areas. We'll have to watch and see how much the finer fuels dry out quickly. Also, quite dry, near 10% in Vegas, and they'll have some strong winds down there. Fine fuel coverage, though, quite sparse over there. Temperature change from today to Tuesday. We do see significant cooling in Idaho, dropping off about 10 degrees up through there. Also, about 5 to 8 degree cooling across much of northern and central Nevada in response to that low pressure system moving on in. So the 3-day precipitation totals indicated here. Coverage starts increasing across western and northern Nevada late in the period, as well as the Idaho mountains, the darker greens up there, maybe a quarter to locally half an inch, moving into western Wyoming as well, so beneficial to some of those lingering incidents through there, and then some spotty showers further across eastern Utah. Now on Wednesday, again, that trough low pressure pulling in tons of moisture into Idaho and nearby Oregon, and lingering moisture, some scattered showers across northwest Nevada, but again, mostly in the green. This comes with higher humidity, some pockets of yellow in the extreme south where we still have some of that drier air wedging in. And then Thursday, again, the low pressure lingers, some more wetness across much of the northern half of Nevada, especially the Sierra Front into Idaho. So this will be another multi-day wet pattern for our northern areas. We could really set fuels back quite a bit as we start heading towards the middle part of September. And again, even on Saturday, finally the low starts lifting out. We get drying that starts across the southern half of the geographic area, and we'll hopefully start the drying process further north. But we do have another system, again, approaching the Pacific Northwest coast. 7-day was missing for that last day panel, so we'll have to update that later today when the data comes in. Otherwise, 7-day precipitation totals, a lot of this across northern Nevada, darker green, quarter inch to half inch locally. A lot of this comes in towards the latter part of the period. But again, you can see some of the precipitation amounts in the Idaho mountains, in western Wyoming, half inch to locally an inch. So fuels have taken a long time to dry out there marginally, and they're going to go right back down the hole with that moisture. But we do see overall drying trend across parts of southern Nevada and southern Utah through the period. The 8 to 14 day shows some slight warmer than normal temperatures. Hard to really gauge a pattern there, but looking at the precipitation, that next system that we talked about on day 7 will probably move onshore in the day 8 to 14 period, provide more clouds, moisture, cooler temperatures across northern areas, preventing them from even really starting a substantial drying process. So who knows? This is already September 14th through the 20th, so third week of September. This could be the beginning of the end up for our northern areas. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.